Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We welcome you once again to the airwaves of Salam Media on the various platforms of Salam Media, social media, our YouTube platform. Wonderful that we are able to welcome our listeners, our viewers on this Wednesday evening once again. And it is in conversation with myself, Inayat Wadi, and the big talking point right across the entire world is the global Sumud flotilla, which has been coordinated from many continents right across the entire world. And this time around, it's actually bringing a very diverse coalition of international participants and also includes those that have been previously involved in the land and the sea efforts. You will recall the land effort to open up the Rafah crossing, and also when we've seen what had happened with other freedom flotillas. But this time around, this is huge, this is massive, and this is taking place from right across the entire world. The key question is, people know that there are risks involved, but at the end of the day, it is all about Palestine. It is all about the genocide that is unfolding in Palestine, and enough is enough. And these are ordinary people who have now taken it upon themselves to be part of this coalition. And again, it's a common goal to break the siege, the illegal siege on Gaza by sea, to open up this humanitarian corridor, and also to end this ongoing genocide of the people of Palestine. We'll see dozens of boats that will sail from ports from right across the entire world, large and small boats converging towards Gaza in this largest coordinated civilian flotilla. And we have with us a number of people who will be joining us for the duration of the broadcast. We know a number of South Africans have already joined the flotilla as well, and some of them obviously we will be talking to as well. Many of you who have been following the social media platforms know exactly who it is. And also the key issue here, the most critical issue here is, at the end of the day, we are hoping that this time around, this flotilla actually succeeds in actually breaking the siege, because we know what the Israeli government has been doing, and many people have actually been sent home. They've been kept for a few days in Israeli prisons as well. And this time around, we're hoping that this global Sumud flotilla will unite international activists, but also make a success of this very, very bold mission. Joining us tonight is Dr. Zaheera Soomar, South African social impact and humanitarian leader. Also, we have with us Ruhi, Loren, Akhtar, joining us from the United Kingdom. They online already. We are hoping to get Ahmed Abdulkarim, civil engineer from Kuwait, who is born in the United States of America. Unfortunately, he hasn't joined us, but we see both Dr. Zaheera Soomar and Ruhi Loren on my screen right now. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to both of you.
Walaikum salam. Good to be here.
Thank you for the invite.
Yes, Dr. Zaheera, I think, I'd like to obviously begin with you. And we know from a South African perspective, and especially from someone like yourself, a humanitarian, a social impact leader, and enough is enough. Just how much more can people actually take, where we are heading now very, very close to 2 years of this horrific, brutal genocide accompanied by savagery, by brutality in every form?
Absolutely, it is enough. Enough is enough. Inaya, we are at the point where our governments are not doing what they are supposed to do. This is the job of the governments, to protect people and protect their human rights, protect their dignity and protect their basic rights in every single country. And it's the job of United Nations as well. And the governments are not doing enough, not only for the people of Palestine, but for all of us in all of our countries who are fighting, who are putting pressure. We are tax-paying citizens. And as tax-paying citizens, we have say in what our governments do and don't do in support of our country, how our tax money is used and what activities it is used to fund. And enough is enough. It's insane that we have to do what we are doing right now. But it's insane to think that we are at this length and that 2 years down the line, hundreds of people are having to jump on boats to sail to Gaza, risk their lives just to stop a man-made famine and starvation.
Shukran for that, Dr. Zaheera. Ruhi, just to bring you in. Ruhi, I know you've issued a media statement, and again, for someone like yourself as well, a humanitarian aid worker, and you've given reasons as to why you are actually joining this global Sumud Flotilla, because what you are saying is because silence in the face of injustice is not an option. For too long, Palestinians have been denied their basic rights, including access to food, water, their land, safety, and freedom of movement. Now, as a humanitarian, you speak about it, you articulate it, and you're saying, joining this flotilla, obviously an act of solidarity, but at the same time, as Dr. Zaheera mentioned, while the world is watching, while governments are watching, while the United Nations remains impotent in doing absolutely nothing, or it cannot do absolutely nothing to Israel at this point in time, as it acts with impunity. What does this joining this global flotilla mean to you?
So the Global Sumud Flotilla is a non-violent action where there's going to be a fleet of vessels of many different sizes, as you said, with people from all different countries. More than 44 countries have joined. What does it mean to me, and what does it mean for others who are here? It means that we as civilians will not take this any longer. What is happening in Gaza is not okay. Not only Gaza, there is oppression worldwide, and it is our duty to stand up, our duty to care. Millions of people have been displaced, thousands and hundreds of people have been killed. And if we don't stand up now, this is for the people of today, and it's for the children of tomorrow. What kind of a world are we going to leave for our children tomorrow if we don't act now and today? The people of Gaza cannot wait any longer. We are looking at decades and decades of oppression and an occupation, and this war has been ongoing, restarted since October 2023. It has to end. We have to our goals are to open a humanitarian corridor, to deliver aid, and to end the siege.
Yes, Dr. Zaheera, as I mentioned earlier on, we're about a month away before October the 7th, and this is going to be now the second anniversary of this horrific genocide that is unfolding. And what we are seeing, and from what Ruhi is saying as well, that the world is rising. People on the ground are rising. They are mobilizing like the Global Sumud Flotilla as well, mobilizing people from 44 countries right across the entire world. And the world is now come to face the ugly reality of this genocide and what is actually being done to the people of Palestine.
100% Inayat. And it's by the state of Israel's doing that this is happening, right? The truth is coming out. They are showing their hands. They are showing to the world what they are capable of. They are showing injustice to the world that they are leading, right? This is the more they do, the more they stand in the way of these flotillas, the more they stand in the way of protest, the more they play their political arm, the more we see the truth, the more people see the truth. And it's the world is not keeping silent right now. This is a genocide taking place live on our screens, second by second, minute by minute. There's no denial about what's happening. They can try and use propaganda and media to their liking as much as they want. But the truth is out there. You can see it. It is visible, it's clear. And if you are still choosing to support Israel and what it's doing and the genocide that it's committing, then you are ignorant. You are lying to yourself, or you are choosing racism, discrimination. You are choosing to eliminate an entire population, a nation from this earth, because there is nothing ethical, nothing justifiable that can stand by what Israel is doing at the moment. And they are crippling themselves and they are destructing themselves. They are in self-destruction at the moment. And the world is standing against them slowly, and this is exactly what the flotilla will do as well.
Yes, Ruhi, just looking at the most recent incidents with the other two flotillas, and they were intercepted, and what had actually happened to people who were part and parcel of the flotilla. Did this deter you in any way? Did it give you second thoughts, or are you just inspired, to do a lot more?
You're right in saying so. The previous flotillas were intercepted. People were put in detention. The activists and humanitarians, journalists, lawyers, social media influencers, celebrities. There was many different things that happened, from violence to strip searches, and then we also had the global march to Gaza from Cairo, Rafah, where activists went to try and again go to the Rafah border in protest and demonstration for the people of Gaza and for a humanitarian corridor. Again, that was also blocked. It is not a deterrence for us. It is not a deterrence for us as human beings and the people of the global world. Of course, it makes us nervous to go on a mission like this. We all have families, but it is because of our families and because of ourselves, it is our duty, and we are inspired. I'm right here in Tunisia, and I've been sitting in a room for training with almost 300 people from all these countries. And when I see all these people from many different countries, all backgrounds, from older to younger, to many different skills and backgrounds, I am just inspired, and we are going to keep going. Inshallah, this flotilla will reach, we will break the siege, and regardless, we will keep going with more direct actions, non-violent direct actions.
Well, inshallah, we hope so. And I think, this time around, obviously, this is going to be huge. It's going to be massive, Dr. Zaheera. And I'm sure, you feel exactly the same way in terms of, perhaps being a bit apprehensive. But at the end of the day, the cause is a lot more bigger. In fact, it's much greater than, our own fears and our own apprehensions. And I suppose, this is a motivating factor for you as well.
Absolutely. I mean, Ayat, I'm not to lie. It took a lot for me to think through whether I joined the flotilla. It wasn't an easy decision to make. It isn't something that I take lightly. There were a lot of personal things I needed to think through. There were a lot of things I needed to have with people that I needed to have it with, and I'm still having those conversations. I'm a daughter. I grew up in a household where I grew up in apartheid South Africa. I was born in apartheid South Africa like yourself, and the struggle that our country felt. I grew up in a household that fought for the freedom of South Africa, and so it's in my blood. So I have parents that I have to consider this decision. I am also a wife, and I have to consider my husband, and I'm also a mother of 3, and I have to consider my children. As a Muslim, I have an Islamic responsibility to fight for justice, but I also have an Islamic responsibility to my family. And so, I take that very seriously. And so to have those conversations and to grapple with this and to still come out with a decision that I'm willing to jump on a ship and I'm willing to undergo what I'm about to undergo. Not a ship, a boat. And I'm willing to undergo what we're about to undergo. Because this fight isn't just a fight for Palestinians' freedom. It's not just an end to the man-made famine and starvation. It's not just to break the siege and create a humanitarian corridor. As much as this is and clearly is a non-violence,
Well, it appears that unfortunately we seem to have lost Dr. Zaheera. But Ruhi, I think let's just continue with yourself and just looking at, what sort of support have you received to join this Sumud Flotilla, from friends, from family, from those close to you, from your loved ones as well? What level of support have you received?
So as Dr. Zaheera was also saying, I mean, I'm from the UK, but my parents are from Bangladesh. So I'm originally from Bangladesh. So it's in all of our bloods, like Dr. Zaheera, like yourself, where, we've overcome, our countrymen, our people, our families have overcome oppression themselves and continue. For example, in Bangladesh, there is still poverty and political issues. with myself also, I have a family, my husband, and it was very difficult to tell them, but also they are very supportive. And one thing that I have to say is that, like, we have a team inside of Gaza, and we are supporting people who are refugees and asylum seekers worldwide, and they have been supportive. They, you know, for them, they are worried about our safety, but they stand with us in all that we do, and they really appreciate this. And I think anything that we do, no matter how challenging it may be, what we have to remember is that the people of Gaza are going through something that is million times worse. You can't even put a number on it. It's unimaginable. And this is why we must continue.
Well, we certainly must. Dr. Zaheera, I see you've joined us. Obviously, we lost you for a minute. You can continue. Obviously, you were talking about the motivation, and obviously, I think one of the most critical issues here, at the end of the day, it's a hard decision. It's a tough decision to make, but a necessary decision. Well, it appears as if Dr. Zaheera Soomar has frozen once again. We're going to go for a quick break, and I think when we come back, hopefully we will try and get hold of Dr. Zaheera Soomar. So let's just go for a quick air break. We'll be back.
Rejuvenating media day by day. This is Salam Media.
Sorry, guys, can you hear? Sorry, guys, can you hear me?
Valley's
My
Motor
Wi-Fi is not
Spares. We supply motor spares and accessories for all makes and models of motor cars, LDVs, buckies, trucks, and earth-moving equipment. We deliver on time, every time. Please contact us via WhatsApp on 014-592-0925 or call 014-592-0925 or visit 28 Zenderling Street, Rustenburg. Remember the name. Valley's Motor Spares.
Kids these days are smart, and when you're competing for their attention against their smartphones, you need to make smart choices, like using Sunfoil triple refined pure sunflower oil in every meal you make. It's naturally cholesterol-free and approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a balanced eating plan. So whether you're cooking, frying, or baking, you get the great tasting results that'll get their attention faster than the latest app. And if that doesn't work, change the Wi-Fi password. Sunfoil. Now we're cooking.
When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Al Bayt Lodge, your true home away from home. Al Bayt is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists with its 4-star family rooms and other luxurious facilities, conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach, and other amenities. Your stay will be truly unforgettable, as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Al Bayt has to offer. For reservations, call 041-583-6415 or visit www.albaytlodge.co.za.
For too many communities across Africa and the world, access to clean water remains a dream. At Africa Muslims Agency, we dig deep, reaching into the heart of the earth to fill the cups of those in need. Sponsor a water well for 16,500 Rand, or a borehole in Afghanistan for 55,000 Rand, or Africa for 65,000 Rand, or any amount. With water comes food, health, education, and growth. An ongoing reward with Africa Muslims Agency.
Yasin Badat Financial Advisory. Are your financial goals feeling out of reach? Yasin Badat Financial Advisory is here to turn your aspirations into achievements. Our dedicated team, armed with a history of success, is ready to guide you through the complex nature of financial and investment planning. Whether you're a seasoned investor or new to the game, our personalized solutions cater to your unique goals and risk appetite. Trust in our commitment to transparency, integrity, and excellence. Ready to unlock a world of financial freedom? Partner with us today. Call Yasin Badat Financial Advisory at +27 33 346 2071 or visit www.yasinbadat.com. Yasin Badat Financial Advisory, guiding you to financial success.
Make a conscious choice. Sip for change and support Palestine Drinks Africa. With every can, you help end the genocide and stand in solidarity with Palestine. Choose between our original or sugar-free options available in a case of 24. Every sip is a step towards justice. Every purchase a powerful message of unity and support for the Palestinian cause. Contact 082 888-1440 or 082-7739-556 today and be part of the change. Palestine Drinks Africa. Sip for change. Liberty for everyone.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
With our broadcast this evening in conversation with myself, Inayat Wadi, and that advert we were listening to, Palestine Cola, every sip is a sip for justice, and every step, every word that he's spoken, every action that he's taken is a step towards justice. And this is the reason why we at Salam Media have embraced humanitarian journalism and have embraced the Palestinian cause and looked at this genocide through different dimensions throughout the entire close to 2 years, and now the latest being the global Sumud Flotilla, and we will be providing you a lot of coverage as the days go by as well. And tonight we are just basically introducing some of the people who are going to be part and parcel of the global Sumud Flotilla. Dr. Zaheera Soomar seems to be having a bit of a problem, but we still have got with us Sister Ruhi, Loren, Akhtar. Sister Ruhi, just to continue, and I know I can understand, I'm sure wherever Dr. Zaheera is, possibly there may be network issues, but you mentioned to me that you are with a group of about 300 people, okay? And let's just go through, your experience, when you arrived in Tunisia, the people that you met, what were some of the emotions? What were some of the discussions that you were having with the people who are going to be part of this global Sumud Flotilla?
So initially arriving into Tunisia was a little bit challenging because we were told very last minute. So we had to book our tickets and fly out. So that was a challenge in itself. And then not knowing this country, because I haven't been here before, but actually the welcome here from the Tunisian people has been wonderful. I mean, on the first day itself, we attended a protest for Palestine outside one of their buildings, and the fire that they have to support the people of Palestine and the global Sumud Flotilla is absolutely amazing. And also just talking to other people who are also joining the global Sumud Flotilla, it's just been really inspiring. We've talked about many different things, from logistics to planning and prep and how to raise awareness. The people of Gaza as well, they are at the forefront of anything that we do. So yeah, again, it's been a different yet very humbling and still a very learning experience. And what I would like to say is that I was really, really happy to see all the brothers and sisters here from South Africa. That's been also an absolute honor. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, just while you are on the subject of logistics, is there anything specific that stands out, some of the issues that, you could possibly share with us, and so our viewers and our listeners can quite understand, what it takes to be part and parcel of the flotilla, and what are some of the logistical issues?
Yeah. So one thing to remember is that you don't have to be anybody special to be a part of an action like this or a flotilla like this. You could be a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, a mother like Dr. Zaheera, or just the neighbor next door. So always remember that every small action helps for the people of Gaza or for anybody that's oppressed. So obviously, I can't speak too much about the logistics because of safety issues and security issues. But just to give you an example, there are teams set up from all different countries, from social media people to logistics people to finance people to fundraising professionals. Regarding the logistics, again, it went with things like, trying to find vessels, to recruiting volunteers, to vetting volunteers and participants, to finding crew members. But again, I can't give you too many of the intricate details just due to security reasons. But it's been a big mission from all over the world and many different countries and delegations. And it's been just amazing in such a short time also.
Well, we can understand, obviously that there are sensitivities, and obviously we don't want to get into a lot more detail, and we wouldn't expect to get into all this detail, because I think the key issue here is to get onto those boats, Ruhi, and to make your way to Gaza, and more importantly, the aim, the objective is to break that siege, to get much needed aid and relief to the people of Gaza, which is, ironically, you speak of Tunisia, and Tunisia was one of the countries in terms of the road corridor to Egypt as well, to Cairo, and this is where it started. It was one of those countries as well. So we can see how the Tunisian people and people right across the entire world identify with this cause, and they are actually horrified at what we are witnessing, what we're seeing on our television screens in what is happening to Gaza. Dr. Zaheera, I see you are back with us once again. Hopefully, we will be on a better line as well. And I've just been talking to Sister Ruhi as well in terms of meeting up with people from right across the entire world. And I'm sure you've had a similar experience as well, linking up with like-minded people, people who have a common goal, a common aim and objective.
Absolutely. And apologies for my line. Inshallah, it will be much better in terms of connection. But yes, it's been, when I was departing, I mean, before I got cut off, I was telling you about the difficult decision in just making, in joining this flotilla, and thinking about my husband and my kids. And as I was leaving and coming to Tunisia, I will say that it was, there was still a little bit of stomach churning, and every now and then maybe that feeling comes, right? As because you're about to embark on something that is really big, really risky, but also something that it's not about representing yourself. This is not about me. This is not about Ruhi. This is not about what I want or what she wants. This is something substantially bigger. This is about fighting for a nation and fighting for what they need. And so there's a very big responsibility that we carry amongst our other hundreds of comrades that are with us, to do it in a way that is done well and is for the people of Palestine, right? And so there's always this moments of nervousness, not just because of the risk involved, but nervousness because you're representing something of such a magnitude. But I will tell you, when you're in that room that Ruhi spoke about today when we did training, when you're with hundreds of colleagues, and not even hundreds of colleagues. Ruhi and I met 2 nights ago when we were at a protest outside a building in Tunis for the Sumud Flotilla. And that's where Ruhi and I met. And when you meet people who are from other parts of the world, and you recognize each other from solidarity, for standing for the same thing, there's just something beautiful about that stomach churn that you have. It goes away. It goes away because you get a level of comfort of the people that you're going to be with on this boat. They are your new family. They are your family for the journey that you're about to embark on, for the difficulty that you're about to get on and do. And we take comfort from each other, and we take comfort from the solidarity that we stand. And I know very little about Ruhi. I've known her for 2 days now, but I know very little about Ruhi. But the thing that I do know about Ruhi that's important for me is that I know where her heart and her mind stands. I know what's important for her. I know her ethical decision behind this. I know why she's fighting for this, and that is all I need to know. It's enough for me to get on a boat and trust part of my life and give it to her, because today in training what they told us is that any decision you make impacts every single person on your boat and impacts every single person in the entire flotilla that's on the sea at the moment. So when you act, you're not just acting for yourself, but you're acting on behalf of hundreds of people. And so the little that I know about Ruhi, simply because she's here, is enough for me to feel a level of comfort to jump on a boat with her and have less of that anxious feeling, and know that, you know what, we're fighting for the same thing. This is not about us. This is about something substantially bigger. And it's really heartwarming. It really, really is.
Well, it certainly is. It's a lot bigger than all of us, every individual, Ruhi. And, it's called a Sumud Flotilla. And, I recall November 2023, 1 month into the genocide, where we had the first of our guests that came through, Dr. Matt Gilbert, and he referred to Sumud over and over again when he referred to the people of Palestine, their Sumud, their resilience as well. And as Dr. Zaheera mentioned, that this is a lot bigger than each and every one of us, because when we're talking about Sumud, who better than the Palestinians? And we've seen it right across the last 2 years, what they have taught the entire world, the lessons that we've learned from the people of Palestine, boldness, being courageous, their resilience, and not giving up despite having basically lost everything, their families, their friends, entire, members of a clan, for want of a better term, 50, 60 people of a family, all of that. And yet they haven't given up. They haven't stopped being resilient. And this is the reason, I suppose, this possibly could be one of the other motivating factors for you as well, to see how bold and courageous the Palestinians are. And this is the reason why you prepared to undertake this, this journey as part and parcel of the flotilla.
Absolutely. Sumud means steadfastness. So the resilience and the steadfastness shown and displayed by the people of Palestine is next to nothing that I've seen before. I mean, just to give you an example, as I said, our organization has a team inside of Gaza, and then we have Palestinians helping in from Europe as well. And despite all that they are going through, they still want to help their own community. So we are able to send money to them to buy aid to distribute, despite there being bombs, despite them not having food to fill their own stomachs. If that is not something so strong, then I don't know what is. And if they can be that strong, then the least we can do is support them in any way that we can, whether it's donating, whether it's sharing a post, or whether it's joining something like the Global Sumud Flotilla.
Well, certainly, Ruhi. And also, I think, Dr. Zaheera, the same comment that I made to Ruhi with regard to Sumud as well, and also the lessons that we have now been learning from the people of Palestine throughout this genocide. Yet they give us just so much hope. They give us courage because they haven't lost hope. I've spoken to Palestinians in the last 2 years, particularly, on radio, and they still remain very, very hopeful that their liberation will be there, their freedom will be there. This will pass. This is temporary, despite the sacrifices that they've had to make with their life, with their blood, with their families, the martyrs, the thousands and thousands of people, and yet throughout this humiliation, they look at it as a sign of victory rather than being humiliated by the Zionist entity.
100%. I mean, the thing is, it's also just to show where the strength comes from, right? That we need Allah, and we need Allah alone. And Allah is going to, everything that happens is by the decree of Allah. And when the freedom and the liberation comes, it's going to be at by the decree of Allah. It is not in our hands. It is not in anybody else's hands. And so, but it is absolutely honorable and amazing to see Palestinians, their nature, their belief, their tawakkul. This past few days, as I've been in Tunis, I've received so many messages from so many friends in Gaza saying, we're waiting for you. We wish you well. We hope the journey is safe. They sending me words of encouragement. And it's just, they're going through a man-made starvation and a famine, and they taking the time to care for us, to give us comfort, to give us blessings and sending well wishes. It's just honorable. It's hard to even describe. It's beyond comprehension. It's honorable. They are the chosen people by Allah.
Well, certainly, definitely are. And, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen people like yourselves and Sister Ruhi as well to be part and parcel of this. And, interesting to Sister Ruhi, that we've heard about Amnesty International also urging Israel to allow this international flotilla to deliver humanitarian aid to Gaza, and also at the same time warning that this will go against international principles, against international law as well, but also at the same time praising the activists of the global Sumud Flotilla. Talking about this initiative as being powerful and an inspiring act of solidarity.
Yeah,
It is.
that is correct. Sorry, go ahead, Dr. Zaheera.
No, I was just going to say it is inspiring, and I'm inspired by everybody around me, like Nurain, like Ruhi, like other hundreds of people in that room. But we are not heroes, we are not saviors, we are not anyone special. If any, like you said, Allah has chosen certain people. Allah has put the three of us amongst hundreds of other people in this pathway, given us this opportunity. And it's an honorable opportunity that has been placed upon us. It's a test that has been placed upon us. It's also just something we don't take lightly. And again, it's not for us. It's so much more than for us, right? It's a responsibility rather than an act of heroism. I don't see this as an act of heroism. I don't see this as being us being saviors of any sort or any kind. That this is a duty that has been placed on us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And the way I think about it is, sometimes when you're being put through a test, say, Alhamdulillah that Allah has not forgotten about me, that He has chosen to give me a test, meaning that I am not forgotten by Allah. And I think about this in the same way that Allah has chosen us and He's put this huge responsibility upon us. And I say, Alhamdulillah, that Allah has not forgotten about me, that He has given me this opportunity to embark on this test. And inshallah, I hope we pass this test. And I see it as that. I see it as so much more bigger and nothing to do with failure or heroism. Because this in and of itself, this journey that we're about to go on, this is a test for the three of us and the other hundreds that are going on this. Apologies, Ruhi, I cut you off earlier.
No, that's fine. In fact,
Absolutely
Dr.
fine.
Zaheera, no, that's fine. I think what you're saying is very, very true. It's a test as well, and I think at the end of the day, it's an Islamic duty because we are reminded that when you see injustices occurring, stop it with your hand. If you can't, speak out against it, or at the very least, feel bad about it. And this is exactly what the three of you are doing. And Sister Nurain, assalamu alaikum to you. I see you on screen as well. Welcome.
Walaikum salam. Jazakallah so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, and I have been informed that you are the youngest member of Team South Africa, Alhamdulillah. I know you're a member of the Palestine Solidarity Alliance, Alhamdulillah, the Youth League as well. And it's so wonderful to see, obviously how young people have embraced the Palestinian cause and how young people actually feel about this brutal genocide that is unfolding, considering that we look at the Palestinian population, we look at the Gazan population as well. The majority of the population made up of young people as well. And it's just horrific, in terms of what has happened to this generation of Palestinians, particularly young people. And Allah alone knows what sort of future these young people will be having, how they've been impacted psychologically, the trauma associated with it as well. And I'm sure a young person like yourself as well, it hasn't been easy. And I'm sure, in making this decision, right at the top of your mind is, what can I do for the people of Palestine, or what must I do, Sister Nurain?
I think we've tried everything. I've tried everything. I've tried boycotting, Rosebank for over a year now. We've done everything in our power, and I just felt that when this opportunity came along, I needed to be there. I needed to try and deliver aid to the people of Gaza. They are starving. There's a man-made famine, and it's a responsibility not just for our older generation. It's the responsibility of the youth to take up the struggle. We are the leaders. We are the generation that is going to see, inshallah, a free Palestine, and we have a responsibility to take the struggle forward. It's not something I just woke up one day and say, oh, I'm gonna hop on a boat. It's been something that has been instilled in me from a very, very young age. I remember when the last flotilla left, I can't even remember how old I was, but I remember as a child, my father took us to the ocean, to the Val Dam, and we put paper boats into the water to show our solidarity for the Freedom Flotilla. But not just that, we went, when I was younger, we used to go and hand out pamphlets. So it's been, and even the conversations you have with your family on the table, on the dinner table, the conversations you have with people around you, your friends, your family, that gives you the motivation to take the struggle forward. But it doesn't just happen overnight. It happens through years and years of molding you, not molding, I don't want to say molding, but inspiring you to take the struggle forward. So and the youth of Palestine are showing us what it means to have true yaqeen and trust in Allah. And we have to put our trust in Allah if we are going to take the struggle forward. I have a lot to say, but I feel like we will get there eventually. But let's give everyone else a chance.
No problem. In fact, I know you're going to be staying on till after 8 as well. So obviously, I'm sure there's a lot that you will be able to share with us as well. Sister Ruhi, just coming back to you as well. And I think early on when I spoke to Dr. Zaheera, and I know you wanted to add something to what Dr. Zaheera had to say when we spoke about a responsibility and a duty rather than doing something heroic or to be seen as a hero, because the true heroes are the people of Palestine, because what they have done is they've opened the eyes of an entire world. And I've been saying this from day one when this genocide started, that Gaza will determine what a new world order will look like. And we see this right across the entire world. The Sumud Flotilla is just one aspect, but right across the entire world, we've seen protests, hundreds of thousands of people, they're taking on the streets, taking on governments, doing whatever we can, and they haven't stopped.
Yes, that's right. I'm in agreement with everything that Sister Nurain and Sister Dr. Zaheera has said as well. And I think one thing that I wanted to add was that, like, that sense of responsibility is even more on us now as citizens and human beings of the world, because our governments and some of our countries are complicit in what is happening to the people of Palestine, particularly in the UK. I am ashamed of our government still arming and actually not saying anything, not taking a stand. And our politicians, despite all the demonstrations, demonstrators and protesters are being arrested and things like that, instead of being in solidarity and actually listening to the voice of the people. Now, when they don't listen to the voice of the people, that is when we have to take that added responsibility into aspects like direct actions, non-violent direct actions. So as Sister Nurain was saying, and mashallah, it's so nice to see younger people and the youth actually stepping up, and that actually gives me quite a lot of inspiration as well. Because even today, when I was telling my mother, because she's very worried, and I said to her, there is lots of sisters here, sisters with headscarves, sisters just like the sisters from South Africa. And actually, I told her specifically about the sisters from South Africa, and I'm even more inspired by the two sisters here.
Well, certainly, and also I think what you're saying, and perhaps you could just like to explain a bit more. You mentioned obviously your government as well, but just looking at the people on the ground as well. And I'm sure now that you've embarked on this trip, I suppose many people will recognize who Ruhi is and what Ruhi actually stands for.
I mean, I'm not so bothered about what it might be for me. I think the most important thing is to be able to take a stand for the people of Palestine, to be able to advocate for them. But if our platforms help in any way, because there are people in our own home countries, for example, the Bangladeshi population in the UK, if that inspires more people like Sister Nurain, like the youth of tomorrow, to make a stand because they've seen us maybe supporting the people of Palestine, then that is our goal. It is the children of tomorrow that we want to inspire to, any form of oppression or injustice. We want them to take a stand always for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is also in our religion, and we should be able to stand on Judgment Day and say we tried our best for all people in this world and all oppression.
Well, certainly. And also, I think, Dr. Zaheera, when I look at the people from 44 countries right across the entire world and how they've actually embraced this latest initiative to the extent where we've heard, even I think coming out of Italy, talking about any attempt to block this flotilla will obviously is going to go against international law as well. And also at the same time, we see how people have actually embraced this. I'm talking not only about Muslims, but people who are not Muslim as well. And we've seen it with the previous flotillas as well, and it just shows that there is so much good, there is so much humanity in this entire world, in the ugly face of this genocide, and also for those who are actually supportive of Israel, of the Zionist state, and all of them have been horribly exposed. And I'm sure that with this flotilla as well, we will see this expose in even greater than what it is, because at the end of the day, it is about humanity and what humanity expects. People like yourselves, like humanitarians, like people right across the entire world, what they expect from them to do.
100%, this is not just, even just in terms of awareness and changing hearts and minds. You talked about Italy making statements, right? There are a number of countries that have made statements and said, if Benjamin Netanyahu comes into their country, he's going to be arrested. There are a number of countries that have made statements that said if any IOF soldiers enter their country, they will be arrested, right? Those are bold statements, and those are statements that we need. And so while the change has been slow, there is change. But this is not just a change on a political level around what's happening in Palestine or any other oppression or genocide that's taking place. This is much bigger than that. As someone who is of brown skin color, like all three of you on the screen, while we haven't been through a genocide, we have all felt aspects of racial bias, discrimination, oppression in some way or form in our country, in our professions, in our personal lives. And so we know what this colonialism, imperialist, casteist mindset and world is all about. It impacts every single one of us in our daily lives, in our ability to be free, in our ability to function as a human being in this world, right? And so when you think about narratives that are changing, it's not just a political narrative. It is a narrative that is starting to reorganize.
Yes, I think we've lost Dr. Zaheera once again. Hopefully, she will be joining us. Nurain, early on I asked Ruhi, and also I asked Dr. Zaheera the question, and I'd like to ask you the same question as well, in terms of the motivation, in terms of the inspiration, in terms of the support. Now, I know, obviously you are part of the Palestine Solidarity Alliance, and you've identified in the PSA, we've partnered with the PSA many, many times, and we've got a wonderful relationship, working relationship, with the PSA as well. But let's just talk about the motivation and how this has actually been received by your family, by your colleagues, and also by the PSA. I'm sure, they obviously have encouraged you to a large extent, and I'm sure they're very happy that someone like yourself, particularly from the Youth League, is representing the PSA at the Sumud Flotilla.
Yeah, exactly what you said. I think I would have never gotten to this point without the people in my life. Whether it was Uncle Nazim, Auntie Firoza, all the members of the PSA, Uncle Majid, all of them. My grand uncles who have been part of the struggle their whole life. They fought against apartheid South Africa, and now they fight against apartheid Israel. They really all they come with their chairs, but they will sit at the picket lines at the protests, but they will attend. They won't stay silent. So it's those kind of people that have been in my life throughout my life, and they've definitely inspired me. My parents as well. They've groomed me into this person I am today. I don't like I said, my father would take me out and show me how to handle myself in situations and how to fight for the liberation of all people. And he even my mom is not very active in the solidarity space, but she has molded me into the woman I am. She has guided me. She before interviews she would prep me. She'll tell me, say this, say this, say this, because she understands how important it is to me. But she understands that sometimes maybe my words don't come out as they should. I am missing them a lot. I think coming over all the way across the world without them was a hard decision to make. But the people around me have motivated me. And when Allah asked me on the day of judgment, what did you do for the people of Palestine? I want to be able to respond to Allah and tell him that I left my entire family, I left my entire world to come and deliver aid to the people of Gaza. I know it's been a horrendous couple of years, and not just now, not this genocide, but for 75 years of oppression, they've been faced with so much hardship. And what can we do? It's like, what can you do to make to further the cause? What can you do? Sometimes you don't even feel like enough to even represent this entire nation, and how Allah chose you to get onto this boat and represent not just the Palestine, but the entire South African, the entire Ummah, you know. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but it's our responsibility and yeah, I think that's, yeah.
Well, I think, Nurain, what you're saying is very, very true. And I think, all of us feel very, very helpless. And I will ask Ruhi to actually comment because I think even from a media perspective, when one looks at the journalists and especially what has taken place in the last few weeks as well, in terms of the journalists as well, to see, how these journalists have been brutally killed, and it's heartbreaking for us to actually report and to talk about this, but we need to still continue regardless. And believe me, I think, for all of us, I'll be the first if independent journalists are actually allowed in Gaza just to go witness for yourself, to talk to the people, to give people hope, to listen to their stories. Just, that alone would mean so much to someone like myself as well. And I'm sure that many other media people right across the entire world. But Ruhi, again, when one looks at the emotion, when one looks at the anger, and I've heard it, in fact, I've just read about Genoa in Italy, where dock workers have been talking about, those who have been collecting the shipping aid for Gaza, again, vowing to block Europe if the Sumud Flotilla faces attacks or intimidation. Now, this is how serious it's been. They've gone to the extent of saying, and I'd like to quote them saying, if we lose contact with our boats, even for just 50 minutes, we will block all of Europe from the port of Genoa. Nothing will leave anymore. This is what people are actually feeling. These are the sentiments that they are expressing. And for some reason or the other, I pray that this flotilla, the Sumud Flotilla, is going to be a flotilla with a difference and is going to yield results.
Inshallah. inshallah, may this flotilla reach and break the siege. You're absolutely right. We've talking about the Muslim duty, but also there are many different countries and backgrounds and religions and non-religious people who are also supporting, like you're talking about the Italians. There are other ports. For example, you saw the send-off in Barcelona in Spain, and there are other ports which are not so known where vessels are also going from. And it's just absolutely amazing how people have got together to support. But if you remember sort of the support from the people of Yemen also, or we have Sudanese community members in the refugee camps of Greece where we are also working, and they are also supporting Palestine, even though they're going through their own oppression and wars and conflicts as well. And like you were talking about the journalists in Gaza, I mean, they are the example of steadfastness and Sumud. Those journalists, they could have left at the beginning when the crossing was still open or when they could pay to get out, but they chose to stay and to report. And like Sister Zaheera was saying, is that we're seeing a live genocide because of them. And every few weeks we are hearing of more and more brothers and sisters, journalist sisters and brothers from Gaza dying. And inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un, they will receive Jannatul Firdaus inshallah. But because of their sacrifice, we must continue to be strong in what we're doing also. If they can do that for their people, the least we can do is to continue.
Well, certainly, I see we've got about 3 minutes before we will get Jared Sachs. Dr. Jared Sachs will be joining us as well. Sophia Waller, I see her name is on as well to be joining us for the second half of the show. So I know Sister Nurain, you're still going to be with us. So Sister Ruhi, just some final thoughts from yourself as well before we take leave of you in terms of the emotions when you are obviously going to get onto that boat, and what are some of the expectations on your part as well? But I'm sure it's going to be a very, very highly emotional moment the moment you step foot on that boat.
Yes, it will absolutely be highly emotional. There will be nervousness, but there will also be steadfastness in what we're doing. And like Sister Zaheera was saying, when I see all these other people with me, I feel stronger. I came here more nervous, and with 300 people in the room in the training, I feel much stronger. And before I leave, what I would like to say is please keep raising awareness on the Sumud Flotilla. Your eyes on us keeps us safer. Your raising awareness and your advocacy and sharing will help us to, inshallah, be safe and also to be able to deliver the aid. And thank you for this opportunity in letting me join. And thank you to all of our brothers and sisters from South Africa who are a part of this, and to everybody else who is advocating and protesting in South Africa also. Thank you so much.
Well, Ruhi, we say Jazakallah khairan so much to you for taking time out and spending the last hour in the company of Salam Media. We wish you well. Our du'as are with you. We wish you safety as well. And inshallah, we pray that it is going to be mission accomplished this time around, because this is what our brothers and sisters, this is what the people of Gaza actually need from us as well. So we wish you all the best, inshallah, your safety. We will be following your journey. We will be following the journey of the flotilla from right across the entire world, inshallah. So all the best to you, inshallah. Our du'as are with you once again, and Jazakallah for your time. Walaikum salam. And I see Dr. Zaheera has joined us as well. Dr. Zaheera, we were just winding down the first hour, and alhamdulillah, you joined us right on time as well. And as you know, we wished Sister Ruhi well as well. Our du'as are with you as well, Dr. Zaheera, as well, for your safety, for your well-being as well, inshallah. And I think more importantly, as far as the effort is concerned, Allah Ta'ala accept, Allah Ta'ala reward your efforts. But just before we take leave of you as well, Dr. Zaheera, just sort of, I asked Ruhi as well, that emotional moment when you're going to be setting foot on that boat, inshallah, and say, this is it now, this is reality, this is what I wanted to do, this is what I'm going to do, inshallah. Your mic is muted, Dr. Zaheera. If you could unmute, please. It appears as if it's still muted. If you could unmute your mic, please. Well, I think Dr. Zaheera is, I know you are with us, you're listening to what I'm saying. It's just, I think, the mic that needs to be unmuted. But Sister Nurain, I think while we are waiting for Dr. Zaheera to sort out that slide, oh, there we go, the technical problem is sorted out. Okay, please go ahead. No. No, unfortunately, we are having a problem. Sister Nurain, what we'll do is we'll try and connect with Dr. Zaheera during the second half of the show as well. So we're going to go for a quick break and we'll come back. We will continue. Well, like I mentioned, we've got Dr. Jared Sachs as well. And we've got one or two other people who will be joining us for the second half of this broadcast. So for now, we're going to be signing off. We'll be back with a lot more on the global Sumud Flotilla coming to you live from Salam Media.
Searching for elite local and international investment and advisory services from an award-winning firm? Look no further than the Belmont Mayer Group, your gateway to unparalleled investment and wealth management. At Belmont Mayer, we believe in the art of wealth creation, a meticulous process fueled by our unwavering commitment to excellence. With a focus on providing elite alternative investments and quality advice, we also pride ourselves on maximizing value for our esteemed investors, as seen through our consistent outperformance. Your financial success is our top priority. Join us at Belmont Mayer and experience the difference firsthand. Ready to embark on a journey of greatness? Contact us today. Reach out to the Belmont Mayer Group on 078 786 1698. Call or WhatsApp or email us at info@belmontmayer.com. Elevate your financial future with Belmont Mayer, where every detail matters.
In South Africa, countless numbers of sick patients leave their homes at the crack of dawn to join long queues at clinics and public hospitals, many of them suffering pangs of hunger in addition to the symptoms of disease. The Al Imdad Foundation's Slice for Life teams deliver sandwiches to these patients at more than 40 hospitals and clinics across the country. Help us to keep on relieving hunger. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042-203-1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
Penny Appeal's Education First campaign helps children to get access to quality education.
I'm 14 years old. When I grow up, I'd like to be a scientist.
We believe every child belongs at school,
And we want education, a better education.
learning and dreaming their way to a better future. With your help, we can provide classrooms, desks, stationery packs, and school shoes. Help make these dreams a reality. Visit www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 1100 573. Penny Appeal. Small change, big difference.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness, and every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and free Zakat calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
Conveniently located along the banks of the Crocodile River bordering the Kruger National Park, as a guest at Buckler's Africa Lodge, one can enjoy an amazing sunrise or sunset on our spacious deck area while you catch a glimpse of some wildlife sightings along the Crocodile River. The sounds of the African savannah will greet you whilst you enjoy your morning coffee. Buckler's Africa Lodge by Tingana Collection. Buckler's Africa Lodge is ideally situated only 6 kilometers from the Crocodile Bridge Gate in the Kruger National Park. Catering for all travelers with variety, we have 4 types of the finest rooms: superior rooms, deluxe suites, and 2-bedroomed family units. Each room is equipped with the finest amenities to make your stay unforgettable. Guests can choose between the self-catering option or book their accommodation with breakfast and dinner included. Buckler's Africa Lodge is your ideal location for the ultimate Kruger getaway experience. We specialize in exhilarating and educational game drives in Kruger, tailor-made to suit your family. Inquire about our various accommodation offerings and other activities. Visit www.tingana.co.za for more information. Buckler's Africa Lodge by Tingana Collection. Experience the pulse of Africa with us.
Abu Huraira narrated that he heard the Prophet Muhammad, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, say, "In black seed there is a healing for every disease except death." Experience the health benefits of this ancient blessed seed by using the Tib Black Seed range. Black seed assists the body to boost immunity, regulate blood sugar levels, reduce inflammation, and act as a potent antioxidant. Experience a holistic approach to health by introducing the Tib Black Seed range into your routine. Available in capsules, pure cold-pressed oil, and a vapor rub. Trust Tib Health Sciences for quality black seed products. For more information, visit blackseed.co.za. Available at leading pharmacies.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
Well, we continue into the second half of this evening's broadcast in conversation with myself, Inayat Wadi, and we continue focusing on the global Sumud Flotilla. Now, the question needs to be asked is, what does it take people from all walks of life to actually join a flotilla of this sort? And 44 countries right across the entire world are being represented. And these are people from all walks of life, as I mentioned. People like Dr. Jared Sachs, who is a multifaceted individual. He's based in Cape Town, where he works as an activist, a writer, an academic. He's got a PhD from Columbia University, and he's focused a lot on activism, on social justice, on land rights, on housing issues in South Africa. This is evident in the work that he does. And he's also dedicated his efforts to Palestine solidarity, playing a key role in the South African Jews for a Free Palestine, where he leverages his legal expertise, his activist background to build campaigns, organize protests, and direct action, advocating for Palestinian rights and freedom. Nurain Saloojee, a young audiologist and a Palestinian activist, she currently serves as a vice chairperson of the Palestine Solidarity Alliance, the Youth League, and she continues with a family legacy of activism as well, and drawing on the lessons that we've learned from our country, our history of apartheid, and also youth activism to combat Israeli apartheid. So she will be joining us shortly as well. And also joining us, Ahmed Abdulkarim, a civil engineer from Kuwait, born in the United States of America. These are the people who are joining, amongst many others from right across the entire world. And let's welcome our guest once again, Dr. Jared Sachs. Nurain Saloojee is on screen already, I see, as well. And also, hopefully, Ahmed Abdulkarim will be joining us shortly as well. Dr. Jared Sachs, once again, welcome, and we thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, Nurain, I see you back as well. Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum to you again. Your mic is muted. There we go.
About that. Jazakallah so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on Salam Media.
Yes, Dr. Jared Six, let's talk about yourself as well. Your decision to join this global Sumud Flotilla. How did it actually come about? What was some of the motivation? What was the inspiration behind this decision of yours?
Thank you. That's a great question. For me, it's really about how much work and activism and fighting we've been doing over the past 2 years. Really, almost every day, trying to do something for Palestine, trying to do something to stop the genocide, to break the siege, and we've been able to do a lot. We've been able to pressure our government. We've been able to pressure other governments to make small changes, to take Israel to the ICJ, to criticize Israel, but we haven't been able to make these governments actually do what it is necessary to end the siege and end the genocide. And so for me, when things don't change, some people will give up. Some people will decide, hey, nothing can change. We can't do anything. Let's just give up and go watch a movie or something. And for me, it's like I need when something's not working, I want to try something else. I want to keep trying until we can actually make change. So, excuse me. So, the flotilla for me is something new. This mass flotilla with hundreds and hundreds of people, with dozens of boats. It's the first of its kind ever, and it will create the kind of pressure and the kind of media campaign and the kind of attention that I think is necessary to possibly change things. And so, for me, I had to try. I had to get involved. I had to take this risk and get this boat and make the plunge. Just of the odd chance that this is what is the tipping point in ending the war, ending the genocide.
Wow, Dr. Jared, and I see we've got Ahmed Abdulkarim who's joined us as well. Ahmed, assalamu alaikum and welcome.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And also Zukiswa Awena, who's joined us as well. And I think, I'm just looking at this Instagram page, Zukiswa, as we welcome you from every river to every sea. South Africa's delegation, when she was 10, a Palestinian girl named Dana Savage Zukiswa. Sorry. I'm just reading this wrong. Her name Dana. She saved Zukiswa's life. Actually, now a mother, Zukiswa, joins the global Sumud Flotilla in the hope that the siege against Gaza can be broken and she can return the favor and save Palestinian girls and boys and their lives with much needed resources. Really, now that speaks volumes on its own. Welcome to you, Zukiswa. If you could unmute, please. If you could unmute your mic. No, sorry, it's muted again.
Is that better? Thank you for having me, and thank you to your listeners. How are you doing?
Yes, no, wonderful. Really, I mean, I'm actually so deeply touched by what I've just seen on this Instagram page in terms of, your reason and your purpose as well, and to return the favor to save Palestinian children, girls and boys, and to save their lives.
Yes, that was really quite a bit of a light take on my part. But I think the deeper issue is that the things that are happening in Palestine, the things that we've experienced as South Africans, we're very familiar with this particular struggle. And in a way, it's still going because there's a level of neocolonialism that continues But we will never really be free as a continent, as the world, until and unless Palestine is free. And I've mentioned this before, that Palestine is ground zero, Gaza is ground zero, but the guns that are tested on Palestinians are the same guns that we find in our neighborhoods, whether it be Kailisha or the Cape Flats or El Dorado Park. We're seeing children running around with guns. There are no guns that are manufactured in El Dorado Park. There are no guns that are manufactured in Kailisha. There are no guns manufactured in Klebeja, but we're seeing this. And these are the guns that are tested on Palestinian children. They're the guns that are tested on, the weapons that are tested on our brothers and sisters in Sudan right now, so that they can have the capitalists and the global north and all those that are involved, the Zionists, get their gold. They're the same ones that are tested on our brothers and sisters in the Congo. And so it's an urgent and more global narrative than, of course, my little glib statement that I made on why I'm joining this. I am joining this because it's for humanity. I'm joining this because when my grandchildren are born and they say, "What did you do?" I want to say, I tried to do something.
Wow. In fact, really, that speaks volumes on its own, Zukiswa. Ahmed, let's bring you into the discussion now. I know you were born in the United States of America. You're a civil engineer by profession, but formerly from Kuwait as well. And I'm sure the last 2 years in particular hasn't been easy, although, you may be in the United States of America, but again, you have your roots in that part of the world as well. And I'm sure you felt deep in your heart you had to do something. And this is an opportunity, this presented an opportunity for you to do something about Palestine.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I was born in the US, and about a year and a half ago, I decided to move back to Kuwait. Um, I was studying in the US as a civil engineer. I graduated. I worked there for like over 6 years. And then when the genocide happened, it was like a sign for me to leave everything behind in the US, since I figured out like our taxes were being used to fund the genocide, and I had to take a step and leave that system. So that was one of the main reasons I decided to go back to Kuwait. Like we protested, we raised awareness, and we waited for our governments to act. But unfortunately, all they did was give us empty words and condemnation. But all of that didn't help feed the children that are being forced to starve to death right now. And now I live in the Kuwait, so seeing my neighbors being starved to death, I cannot just sit idle anymore and watch kids being starved to death. So about a week or two before the Global Sumud put out the post that they're recruiting, I was thinking of doing something for us, like maybe go to Egypt to give food to the kids or somehow break through the borders or something. I don't know. But then like a week later, I saw the post of Global Sumud and I immediately signed up, and alhamdulillah, I got accepted and here I am now. So yeah.
Alhamdulillah, in fact, now that you've taken this decision, and it's something that you wanted to do for a very, very long time. But I see Dr. Jared Sachs is back with us as well. I know, obviously there are certain technical issues. Hopefully, we can get you on for a much longer period of time as well. But once again, just listening to both Ahmed and to Zukizwa as well, Dr. Jared as well, the reasons, the motivation for joining this, because I think to a large extent, many of us, we've been protesting, we've been raising our voices, but at the end of the day, it's just getting worse by the day. It's getting brutal, more brutal by the day. The famine is crept in, the starvation, the forced starvation as well, food and water being used as a weapon of war as well. So it's just getting more and more brutal. And something has got to give, Dr. Jared. And hopefully, through this global Sumud Flotilla, something will actually give, and we can see at least some relief to the people of Gaza, to the people of Palestine. Dr. Jared?
Yes, I can hear you. You asked me, did you have a question? I must have missed the question. Apologies.
Okay, no, I'm just saying that, obviously we all have got our own reasons as to why we want to obviously be part of the flotilla as well. But again, as I mentioned, 2 years of protest, 2 years of talking, 2 years of outreach, nothing has actually happened. And hopefully through this flotilla, I'm sure you are hoping to see at least some movement, some action.
Yes, I hope so. I mean, I think the point of this flotilla is to firstly break the siege, but also just to put Israel in a difficult position. So either they have to let us through, or they have to break international law and stop us, and they have to look bad by stopping humanitarian aid coming in. So what we're doing is we're exposing what Israel is doing. We're exposing their genocide, their starvation of the Palestinian people, and it just means that we're taking action that's whatever happens, there is a chance that there is success in whatever happens. No matter what Israel does, they're going to look bad, and no matter what we do, we're gonna win this battle to a certain extent. So I think it's an important step.
Yes, Nurain, I think just before we came on for the second half, there was a picture that was actually put on the screen as well, and it did appear to us as if some of the members were signing indemnity forms. Just take us through some of the processes, to be part of the Sumud Flotilla as well, and just without giving away too much, just take us through some of the basic issues that you need to be aware of, or all members of the flotilla need to be aware of.
I think a lot of the information is confidential at the moment, obviously for the protection of everyone on board and in order for this mission to be successful. But I will try and say that when I signed that document, it was an indemnity form, basically signing my life away. And I was thinking of everyone back home, and I was like, my signature is a form of resistance. That's what I kept in the picture. And every action we do is now a form of resistance. And the Palestinians are watching us. They're making dua for us. And they are looking at us as a form of hope. And so we had to obviously go through an intense training that we have to be prepared. We have to know exactly what we're getting ourselves into. And in order to react in the way that in order to react in the best way possible so that the mission is successful. And like Jared said, no matter what happens on this ship, it's gonna be a victory for us. If inshallah, we will deliver aid into Gaza. We don't know if it will happen, but we have to believe that it will happen. But all the processes, all the protocols that we've done is just to prepare us for whether we're gonna we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know.
Yes, we need to apologize. I know you are in a very difficult situation at this point in time in terms of network, possibly signal strength as well, bandwidth, all of that, and we are cognizant of that as well. But Zukiswa, I think the point that Nurain made is the Palestinians are looking at this flotilla with hope, and rightfully so. They should be hopeful. We should be hopeful as well. But it's not only about the Palestinians, it is about the eyes of the world. It is about us as South Africans. It is about the African continent. It is about the entire world that is praying and that is hoping that this time around it's going to be very different from previous flotillas that have attempted to break the siege, to break the blockade as well. So this time around, I think the entire world is looking at this flotilla very, very differently in a hope that it is going to succeed.
Absolutely. We're a much bigger delegation than previous ones, so there is that. There are a whole lot more boats than before, so there is that. And it's really, I think, even worse. It's not just bad for Israel. It's also really bad for the world governments that they are allowing civilians to do the things that they should have been doing in order to ensure that this genocide doesn't continue, that starvation is not used as a weapon against the Palestinians. So I don't think that there's any world leader, apart from right now, I think Pedro from Colombia, I don't think there's any world leader now who should not be hanging their head in shame for not doing anything decisively in order to ensure that the food gets to Palestinians and the genocide stops, and a true road for peace, not just peace as an absence of war, but a true road to peace is actually like in process where we don't get all the statements that come out where Israel drops up a peace plan and then once it's accepted, they deny it. But it's really what we are doing as well is it's a peaceful process. It's important to highlight that what we're doing is a non-violent protest. What we're doing is we've been as part of our teaching, we've been taught to ensure that at all times we're peaceful, and this is very important to highlight. So anything that happens to us, it's really going to look bad on the world government. It's going to look bad on Israel. So yes, I would like to agree with Jared that I think either way, there is some winning, but obviously the ultimate victory is to be able to open up the humanitarian to break the siege and open up the humanitarian corridor so that the people in Gaza can be able to get food, can be able to get water, can be able to get medication.
The Kidra is saying is, we're talking about the world as well. And I'm sure, as far as the Arab world is concerned as well, there's this feeling of helplessness with people on the ground in a particular. And I'm sure, many, many people would like to do something for the people of Palestine, but they also feel very helpless at this point in time. But it is through people like yourself, possibly a voice for the people on the ground in the Middle East, in the Arab world as well, that there are people who really care, who want to do something as well. And I'm sure the support that you are getting from colleagues, from friends, from family, from relatives, from people that you know of as well. I'm sure there's a great deal of support and wishing you well, and hoping that something positive actually comes out of this latest initiative. Yes, Ahmed?
Inshallah. Inshallah, yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I mean, me myself, that's why I joined the Global Sumud Flotilla, is I can't sit idle anymore, and just keep sharing Instagram posts and hoping that will feed the starving children. Like, we waited long enough, and it's way past time, And it's true, like the past 2 years, we've seen the darkest side of humanity. with the Zionist entity and its allies. But at the same time, this movement gathered people from all over the world, and it showed that the people, the governments, all the governments don't represent the people. That's why this movement was born. So it's a beautiful movement that you see people from different cultures, religions joined for a just cause, and I think that's beautiful.
Yes, Nurain, I just like to ask you as well, and I asked this early on of Ruhi as well, and obviously you've got hundreds of people that have actually assembled together as well, and just being in the company of like-minded people, people that have got a common objective, a common aim, and what sort of emotions run through your mind when you're meeting all these people from different walks of life, from different countries, all assembling and about to embark on, I think, what I would say is one of the most important initiatives, since this genocide had actually began. And for me, I think this is extremely important because this is huge, this is massive, this is something that we've never seen before.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, no, go ahead. Go ahead. It's fine.
No, you first. You first. You first.
Yeah, I was just saying that it's a beautiful moment where all countries from people from all around the world came together for this one mission. Imagine 44 countries, different backgrounds, different languages. In the sessions, people are translating, they need translators. So there's people from all over the world, people with all different backgrounds, stories, but they all have a common goal, and it's for humanity. It's for delivering aid to a starving population of people are being forcibly starved, and people from all around the world are coming together to deliver this aid. It's so beautiful to see that humanity is not dead, and that we actually have hope within our world, and that I think sometimes you feel there's no hope, you feel hopeless. But when you see these amazing people coming together and sacrificing their lives, sacrificing everything they know, leaving their families behind, leaving their world behind, just for a common goal, it's so beautiful. I honestly don't know how else to describe it.
Well, certainly it does. Ahmed, I know you wanted to add something, so please go ahead.
No, I think she hit the point exactly what I was trying to say. Like, I know it's hard for me myself to leave everything behind. Like, if I just kept making excuses and, then none of this would have been possible. Like, we have to stop making excuses and take actions. We have to unite and do the best we can, and the rest is in God's hand.
Yes, Zukiswa, are you quite amazed by what has happened, and in such a short space of time, a global coalition of this sort, could be put together, and it just shows that people were waiting basically for something to happen so that they could put up their hands and say, you know what, I am ready, I want to go, I need to do something. Are you amazed at how quickly this entire Sumud Flotilla idea, the concept behind it, and also in terms of its execution was put together, which tells us one thing, that the world has seen just too much in the last 2 years. So to be inactive, and now is the time, and this once again demonstrates what we can call a call to action. If you could unmute again, please, Kiswa.
When leaders are meeting up at the G8 and G20s and GWAT and XWAT, I don't think they realize that the power that we actually have as citizens, And this has just shown it. It's been very humbling, and as Nurain said, and as Ahmed said, just knowing also that you're not alone. The president of Colombia, who I'm much in admiration of on his stance on Palestine and against Israel, because he actually stopped trade of coal with Israel, something that we are yet to do as South Africa. He said something, he wrote a letter to the global Sumud Flotilla, and he said something, and this has been repeated over and over again. As I was thinking about joining, when I got admitted and everybody said yes, one of the problems that I had is I thought to myself, how am I going to get there? Because I do not have any funds, and I'm an artist. And an organization had said they would assist me. And at the last minute, probably a few days before I was to fly out, they said, oh, sorry, we can't, because there was a lot of bureaucracy at their workplace and stuff, and I didn't know what I was going to do. But what happened is another comrade got in touch with me, and they said to me, listen, why don't you get in touch with these guys and they'll sort you out? And do you know, I got my ticket from some comrades from the Gambia, that's in West Africa. They're the ones who bought my ticket, and they helped me out. And at that point in time, the words of the Colombian president came really, really true. And what he said in his letter right at the end, he said, and when you reach the waters near Gaza, you will feel the traveling beside you is the voice of millions who believe that peace is not a utopia, but an obligation.
Powerful, a very powerful statement, Nurain. And I think, just following up from what Sukiswa actually mentioned, again, it actually just shows once again the support, apart from people who are going to be like yourselves, the three of you who are going to be part of the Sumud Flotilla. There is a lot of support, there is a lot of encouragement coming from the outside support groups as well, solidarity organizations, activists are actually looking at this. And once again, I just want to refer back to what had taken place in Genoa, where the dock workers in Genoa reminded the world that every year 13 to 14,000 containers leave the Genoa port for Israel. And they issued a warning saying, we will not let a single nail leave anymore. We will launch an international strike. We will block the roads. We will block everything. We want to show the port, show the world that the port of Genoa is a civilian port and not a port of war. And again, sending a very, very powerful signal that again, that these are the type of organizations and support groups, the port of Genoa, physically encouraging the world, encouraging the Sumud convoy to deliver much needed aid to the people of Palestine and to Gaza. Nurain?
Sorry, Marv. It got cut off, so I didn't hear the full question. Would you mind
I'm just saying
repeating, Marv? I'm sorry.
the support to such an extent where people are actually determined that to make sure that physically the aid will get to the people of Palestine. And this is a very powerful statement that was made by the dock workers at the port of Genoa as well.
It just shows that the world is waking up, and the world is not gonna remain silent any longer. Ordinary people are waking up and saying, wait, what am I doing? What am I doing to aid this genocide? And they stopping their complicity, and they standing up for what is right. And that's how change is gonna happen. With individuals waking up and saying, what am I doing on in my individual capacity? Am I working for a company who is supporting apartheid Israel? Am I am I purchasing products who are supporting apartheid Israel? So the power lies within us as individuals, and it's the choices we make on an everyday basis that is going to actually create change within society, within the world, and hopefully change the global order that we are stuck in at the moment.
Well, certainly, Nurain. And also, Ahmed, I think, what is important to understand is it gives people like yourself who are part of the flotilla hope to see the level of support that is coming from other areas, from activists, from people who identify with humanity, who identify with justice right across the entire world. And I'm sure that gives you a lot of hope, it gives you a lot of courage, and it's also, I think, more importantly, gives you the strength to continue.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And that's exactly what the Palestinian people need right now is hope and the strength to carry on, to see the world has not abandoned them after, almost 2 years now. I never go on live streams. I never, fly to a country to meet strangers, but that's exactly what the world needs to do right now is to leave their comfort zone, is to do new things, to see new changes. We can't just keep on repeating the same cycle and expecting different results. That's why we collectively have to do this: is get out of our comfort zone, take new steps to help the people of Palestine. And it's awesome, like what you said about the people in Italy that will, stop Europe if the global Sumud Flotilla even goes, offline for 20 minutes. I think that's exactly what the world needs to do, is to disrupt the system. Like if this genocide keeps happening and it happens anywhere else in the world, like we need to disrupt the system. Like humanity has gone in the wrong directions and we have to nudge it back in the right direction.
Thanks for that, Ahmed. Yes, Sukiswa. I think just looking at your background, and obviously as a writer, and you've seen so much in your life, you've written so much in your life as well. And once again, I think it's an opportunity for someone like you, not only to write about, but also to witness history in the making, to be part and parcel of history in the making. And for me, I think this is it's a defining moment. It's a historical moment. And I think in years to come, people will remember this day. People will remember this month of September 2025. And hopefully, comes later in the month in September as well, when the flotilla reaches the waters of Gaza as well. That is when that defining moment is really going to be judged, by the entire world for what it is, for standing for humanity, for standing for justice, for standing against oppression in the most extreme and in the most brutal form.
This is true. I think we've also seen, just as you were talking about the Genoa dock workers, I was also thinking about how this support for a genocidal regime is also really hurting some people close to home. And I saw a post by Daniel Friedman of somebody who had said that they hoped that some violence would be meted on all of us who are going to be on the flotilla from South Africa. And they just happen to be aligned to an organization that does the in-flight magazine for South African Airways. And I understand from a statement that came out that they have lost their jobs. So there are now some very real consequences of supporting this genocide, and that's as it should be. There are now some very real consequences of supporting the genocide, whether you're an individual or you're a business, because businesses are now being boycotted. They have been boycotted, but now more so. I understand here in Tunis, quite a lot of businesses have shut down. The McDonald's, the chicken KFC or something, But yeah, I was hearing that from one of my friends here in Tunis, that this has happened. And so there should be consequences. There should be consequences for supporting a genocide. There should be consequences for being on the wrong side of humanity, for trying to profit from people's death. There should be some serious consequences. And I appreciate that even where we don't have the power to maybe do something, where we can't force our governments to take certain actions, we're walking away. We're closing our purses and we're saying we're not going to support you. And this is something that the world has been doing, and BDS has been absolutely one of those weapons that even for the people at home, maybe you can't be with us on the journey. All you can offer is your doers. But what you can do is just continue boycotting, continue speaking up, and make sure that, you know, we get there. Because the more you speak up, the greater the chance that there won't be any distractions, so that we can get to Gaza. Let's break the siege together.
Inshallah.
You will be breaking that siege as well. But also, I think just on the subject of consequences to Kiswa, you know, the consequences for, we know, and you mentioned that there are elements in this country as well that are supportive of the genocide as well. And I think the consequences that many are concerned about are those who are not only complicit, but those who have been actively involved in the genocide, like, for example, the IOF recruiting South Africans to actually fight in the Israeli military and the Israeli Defense Force as well. And we know that a number of them have actually been there. They boasted about it on social media as well. And again, you know, these are the consequences that we need to be also looking at. We also need to be talking about as well.
You're absolutely right. And I actually wrote a letter some months ago, actually. It must have been last year, where to the Department of Public Prosecutions, inquiring why we haven't seen any prosecutions. And tragically, I didn't get a response. I am hoping that if I were to throw that question now, because I am on this flotilla, then maybe I might get a response, because they probably dismissed and said, "Who are you?" Which perhaps shows how our leadership, even if it's civil servants who allegedly work for us, do not rate people if they don't think they have an audience. It's something that needs to be changed, because everybody, every human life matters. And it's part of the reason why we have what's happening in Palestine now, because somebody thinks there is a life that's more important than that of a Palestinian life. You know, they think this life is more important than the other life. And so I think this is what we need to examine ourselves as South Africans, and ensure that every citizen who questions is able to be answered to their fullness and to be explained to on why certain things are happening the way they are.
And I mentioned earlier on, and you are the youngest member of the South African team, you know, amongst many people from right across the entire world, activists as well. And I'm sure that there are many other young people as well who will be part and parcel of this as well. And also will give you an opportunity to network, to link up with activists across the world. So apart from just being part of the flotilla as well, it's a huge learning experience as well. You know, it will show growth in yourself, in your personality, in your thinking as well. And, you know, particularly for someone like yourself who is very close to the Palestinian cause through the Palestine Solidarity Alliance as well. You know, so that again is a value add as well. We know that there are uncertainties that lie ahead. None of us know what is going to happen. None of us know what reaction there is going to be, but one needs to remain positive And I'm sure there are many positives that you are already at this point in time taking away just by being in Tunis alone.
No, definitely. I think you hit it on the nail. There's so much to learn. I think even for me, just traveling alone was something I never did before. But communicating and being with so many people, like I said, from around the world who have done so much in their lives, and talking to young activists. I met a French girl from uh, a young French activist, and she was telling me about her struggles, and I could feel that I could relate with her. Even though she's French, she has a French accent, at least she could speak English, so we could communicate. But through that, we were able to find commonalities between our struggles. And I think something that came up in our conversation was mobilization and our struggle with mobilization. And why aren't youth so active in the struggle? Where are they? And they also experiencing it in other places of the world, which shows that our struggles aren't isolated. And then we were talking about our struggles locally as well, and unemployment and all of those issues came up as well. And it's just like relating everything back to and understanding that we are not in isolation, and that there's a global movement that we need to be a part of. I think in this video, actually, she's in that video. We actually had this conversation on the bus, which is quite something. But it's just something we have to do. We have to. You can see the whether we even get to dock and get to Gaza. We've created connections all over the globe, and with global pressure is what's gonna create change. And I think that's something that we are seeing even while we just in Tunis at the moment.
Well, you talk about global, and I don't think I can get tired of repeating what I've been saying over and over again. And I know sometimes I sound like a stuck record. And earlier on in the genocide, we always said that Gaza will determine what a new global order will look like, Ahmed. And just this flotilla alone is telling us what this new global order is all about. Like-minded people, people who care for humanity, coming together for a cause, for a people who have been oppressed for well over 7 decades, for a cause of a people who have been crying out for their freedom, who have been crying out for their liberation, the generational trauma that they've had to endure for well over 75 years, year after year, every now and then, we hear, and it's got to a stage where it's got to the worst. Nothing that you and I or anybody else has actually witnessed or seen in our lives, Ahmed.
Yes, you're right. I think the biggest thing I'm learning so far by being here in Tunis and the Global Sumud Flotilla is to be patient, we have people from different ethnicities, cultures, languages. So you have to be patient in trying to understand them, trying to get the point across, waiting for translation. At first it was chaotic, but then as the days went by, as the hours went by, things started coming together. And I know the Global Sumud got delayed a couple of days, but I think everything happens for a reason. We needed that delay to get our things in order to reach Gaza with more synchronized minds, synchronized hearts, synchronized goals, so we can all be one line, and not scattered. So yeah, inshallah, everything will turn out the way we plan to.
Well, inshallah, and as the Quran reminds us, in Allah ma sabirin. So, that patience
Exactly.
obviously will be rewarded, inshallah. So, Kiswa, we've got about 5 minutes, and just starting with you as well. I want to take this opportunity of wishing you well throughout this journey that you've embarked upon, this noble journey, and we're obviously praying for your well-being, for your safety as well, and just some final thoughts, because I'm sure we will be following the journey of the journeys of the flotilla from right across the entire world, over the next few weeks as well. But just some final thoughts, what is running through your mind at this point in time, and in your innermost thoughts and your heart, what do you firmly believe, should happen, and what do you want must happen?
Well, yes, thank you so much. We appreciate the doers. I would really obviously like for us to get there in the end. So please keep talking about it so that it's in everybody's mind, everybody's vision, and because people only ever act when they see something next to them. But in also as much as important, please, please, please.
Yes, I see we have lost Zakiswa for a minute. She is frozen. Nurain, final thoughts from you.
I just want to say for everyone to keep their eyes on the boats, keep their eyes on what's happening in Gaza. Don't take your focus off what's happening in Gaza, what's happening in Palestine, but also try and keep your eyes on the boats. There will be trackers for you to keep track of where we are at all times. We need as many eyes on the boat in order for us to break the siege. The more global pressure there is, the better. So I think that's my last message. I just wanted to tell everybody that we will be on the boats, but we'll need your support from back home. And I think that's my departing message.
Well, inshallah, the support is always there. And like I said, our du'as are with you as well. Let Allah Ta'ala grant you safety, but more importantly, mission accomplish as far as our brothers and sisters in Palestine are concerned. And,
Inshallah.
Palestinians are always positive, and they always say to me as well, even when I interview them as well, that, inshallah, it's not long. The time, Brother Ahmed, they saying is it's not long before we will be meeting in a free Palestine, before we will be
Yes.
meeting in a free Akhtar as well, inshallah. Ahmed, just some parting words from you as well.
I just want to say thank you for having me, and I really appreciate all the Global Sumud Flotilla founders as well. Like, this would not have happened without them, and I know they took a lot of time to organize all of this. And people like them give us hope in humanity, and inshallah, everything will pass and everything will work out for the best.
Well, inshallah, I think, with all your sacrifices as well, and everybody that is with the Global Sumud Flotilla, you give us hope in humanity as well, because we know that, this is a huge sacrifice, going into an unknown territory. It's an uncertain world out there, considering some of the history with previous flotillas as well. But this time around, inshallah, I just have a feeling, and I'm right. I'm hoping that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it, come true, that this is going to be something very, very different. And this may be, inshallah, the defining moment, inshallah. And more importantly, it's all about the people of Palestine. It's about Gaza. It's about breaking the siege and about getting much needed aid, inshallah, because we cannot see a human being starving. We cannot see a child, dying just for a mere fact of, food, water, medication, whatever it is. At the end of the day, we just can't see it. And at the end of the day, it's all about our humanity. It's our responsibility. We are reminded of this. We are reminded of being an ummah as well, where one part of the body is in pain, the entire body is in discomfort. And as an ummah, we are in serious pain. We are actually hemorrhaging at the moment. We're not only in pain, we are actually hemorrhaging. And I think that is a thought that I'd like to actually leave our listeners, our viewers with. And once again, to you, Nurain, to Ahmed as well, and to all our other guests who have been with us since around 7 this evening. Jazakallah, shukran for your time. We wish you well. We wish you safety. Allah be with you. Allah grant you safety, inshallah, and a safe return also to your countries as well, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yes, those were just some of the people that are going to be part and parcel of the global Sumud convoy. And we dedicated the last 2 hours of this broadcast to the Sumud, the global Sumud Flotilla. Inshallah, we will be following developments. We will be keeping you updated as Salam Media as well. So there will be a lot of information. Follow us on our various platforms, on the social media platforms as well. A lot will be posted, and we will definitely, inshallah, keep you updated in terms of how this flotilla goes. And with that, I'm signing off for myself and the team here at Salam Media. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.